Yes.
First on the agenda.
Commission will now take up matters to do with applications for malt beverages and wine only, or either one, for special one-day events. Sean Ciros of the Lowell Firefighters Association for Sunday, June 7th, 2009, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. The event is the Lowell Firefighters Road Race with beer concession in a fence-enclosed area outside of the club premises at 362-364 Fletcher Street. Matt Fitzpatrick of the Pollard Library Foundation for Wednesday, May 20th, 2009, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. The event is the Meet the Author book signing at Memorial Hall, Pollard Memorial Library at 401 Merrimack Street. Faith Chatran of SAY for Thursday, May 14th, 2009, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. The event is the Progressive Dinner, sponsored by Cool at SAY at 177 Merrimack Street. And Corey Belanger of Major's Pub for Saturday, June 13, 2009, from 7 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. The event is the annual Jamboree within a fence-enclosed area on the public way in front of 34 Jackson Street.
Introduce yourself for the record, please. Step up to the mic and introduce yourself.
I'm, Matt Fitzpatrick, representing the Pollard Library Foundation.
Okay.
Faith Chatran, representing Stay Downtown Lowell.
Okay.
Corey Belanger, Major's Pub.
Sean Soroyce, representing Lowell Fire Road Race.
Okay. How many of you have been before us for a one-day license before? 3. 3 out of 4. Okay. Does he get it? I think he should get it. Okay. The commission is always been and is concerned about you, making sure that you understand the responsibility of which you are assuming. We are going to issue you a one-day license. That license is not for the library. That license is not for the fire department. That license is your license. Your name is going to appear on it. Therefore, the old thing about liability, it's real simple. I was raising money for Mother Teresa. You know, God bless Mother Teresa, but you know what? You're the guy going to court. It's that simple. You have to be ever vigilant. When you run times such as road races and festivities, everybody's having a good time. They're there to have a good time. And you're hopefully going to make a handsome profit from it. We don't want to see that profit have to end up into litigation or somebody getting hurt. So we want you to understand that, number one, you have the license in an area where it appears. A police officer, if you have one, or one should stop to check, shouldn't even have to ask, where's your license? It should be there somewhere where everybody can see it. Number two, if you don't have a police officer with you, as you know, say on a detail, whatever you're going to be doing, make sure your phone is programmed so boom, you hit the phone. We will never come before us for calling the police and saying, I think I've got a problem, can you send somebody over here? They will love you to death for it, because they can go over usually and solve all the issues and there's no problem. When you have to get on the phone and I've got a full-blown fight on my hands, you know what? They're being put at risk, the city's being put at risk, and primarily what you should be concerned with, you're being put at risk because you're going to be held liable. Nobody ever stands up. I've sat on this board for a number of years. I have never heard of anybody standing up saying, oh, you know what, I gave my daughter that drink because she's 18 years old. She can have a sombrero. Don't worry about it. You know what? If my daughter falls down and hits her head and gets in trouble, I'm going to sue that bartender because I know it had to be his fault that I did it. It couldn't possibly be mine. So those are the types of things that unfortunately we have to deal with today. And so I'm sure that you've read the rules and regulations of keeping it in a confined area, making sure that, you know, you watch that people aren't passing drinks to their kids or to some minor. It's your license, and with that license, it's like carrying a handgun. There are responsibilities that you have to understand. Okay? Any questions from anybody?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Good luck.
Commission will now take up the application by Corey Belanger for amplified outdoor public entertainment. Corey Belanger, Major's Pub, for Saturday, June 13th, 2009, from 7 p.m. to 12 midnight. The entertainment, a band with sound system within a fence-enclosed area on the public way in front of 34 Jackson Street.
Introduce yourself, please.
Corey Belanger, Major's Pub.
Corey, I think we had a phone call from one neighbor, one. Okay, I don't know, do you know who it was?
I do not.
You
I
have
did
no
hear some
idea,
rumblings.
okay.
I don't know who it was.
Most of the time, unfortunately, that's the way it goes, but, okay, so, we don't need to get into reasonable volume at a reasonable level, at a reasonable time. You got a neighbor, you do have people that live around you, and,
Yeah, I assure you will not have, I don't know what happened. I know the band broke down at 10 minutes of midnight
Yeah.
that night. I think they kept a little background music on while they were breaking down, and it may have exceeded, a few minutes past, but I assure this board it will not happen again.
okay. Any questions?
No question.
Any questions?
I'll make a motion to go ahead and approve.
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor, say yes.
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 Thank you.
Commission will now open a public hearing on an application by the corporation known as Vanny Noor Corporation, Vanny Noor being president, for an all-alcoholic beverage restaurant license for premises at 716 Middlesex Street, units 1, 4, and 5, and 3 unnumbered doors. The first floor for a dining area, a bar area, the kitchen, there's a food prep area, a walk-in cooler, and storage. It is requested that Vanny Noor be approved as manager of record for the corporation, Vanny Noor Corporation. Mr. Chairman, just for the application is for this restaurant, which has a common victuals license. It's operating and certainly not serving alcoholic beverages. A year ago at this time, there was another business with a liquor license. Vanny Noor Corporation at the time was seeking to have a transfer of that license. Unfortunately, the principal involved with a previous licensed establishment at that location at 716 Middlesex Street had left the country and was not reachable by the attorney representing Vanny Noor, Van Thanon, who is here now before the commission. He had to notify abutters in this matter for the fact that it is an application for an original license, a new license.
Okay. Introduce yourself, please.
My name is Van Thorn on behalf of Vanel Corporation, in which Vaningau is the sole owner and the president of the corporation.
Okay. And you've operated the restaurant, you've had the restaurant for the past year?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Captain Webb, any?
Oh, there's no record to report, Mr.
Okay.
Chairman.
Being a public hearing, let's see if anyone here is there anyone here to speak on behalf of this application? Anyone to speak for this application? Anyone to speak for the applicant? Okay, that portion of the hearing. Anyone to speak against? Anyone to speak against? Anyone to speak against? Okay, that portion of the hearing's closed. Okay, yeah. This is, and you are Vanny Noor, right? Right? Okay, have you operated a liquor establishment before? Have you ever been in that business?
May I speak on her behalf?
Yeah?
Miss Vaningau have 3 children. She has been business for a long time, and she was a former owner of the Retro Restaurant, in which she holds a full liquor license for the restaurant. However, she sold that restaurant and she operated another one under the name of Apsara Restaurant, in which she holds the license too. And recently, she sold Apsara and she come back and buy the Retro. She is a very experienced person and businesswoman. She have a good moral character. She never have any problem.
Where were those restaurants?
She was a former Retro. and she sold it,
Yeah.
and she buy another one upside down on Middlesex Street, and she sold that, and she come back by the Red Rose.
Okay, okay.
So she is a long-term businesswoman of good moral character, and she always vigilant about the safety of the public in terms of serving alcohol and beverage to the public.
Okay, now the other restaurant that she had a liquor license at that restaurant?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How many problems did she have? Has she ever been,
Well, there is some incident that's not major incident at the restaurant that she sold it. But when she come back to buy the Red Roll, the license was supposed to be transferred to her, but like Mr. Ryan, the secretary said that the owner, the seller is not available for the purpose of, to affect the transfer license, so that's why we now apply the new license. But as far as Miss Vanilla is concerned, she a very experienced person. She hold a license before at Red Roll Restaurant and never have any single problem.
I think I recall this, was we had the Red Rose had been transferred, the seller had been out of the country, so we weren't able to transfer the license, so it was canceled. So she's now applying to return or get a new license at that address, but it hasn't been a previously
taxes
licensed
apply on that
address.
license? Would the DOR be after that license for back tax? Do they?
That's a good question, Mr. Chairman, and that's a situation, should the board here take favorable action on this application now, the matter will come,
Would they know that now?
no.
They will, okay. All right.
Could I just ask a
Sure,
question to
absolutely.
Mr. Nguyen? She's had a license in the city before.
Yeah.
Has there been any problems that you can recall?
I'm not aware of, I can't recall of any specific incidences or complete reports before the board where she had to address the commission. I'm not saying it didn't happen. but
Right.
For the most part, her record has been favorable.
Okay,
Favorable?
great.
Okay, now, the green cards, we got the cards. Has everybody been the abutters all been notified?
I do not have a copy of the list of the abutters. I think the attorney would have that.
I do have it.
Do you?
And-
Could I
and
see
we
it,
serve-
please?
Yeah.
Okay, you have any other questions? I think she's
No,
got a
I've-
track record that,
I think she's got a pretty good track record. I have no questions.
I
okay?
have no questions either.
All right, I'll make the motion to approve the license.
Second?
Motion made and seconded, all in favor, say yes.
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 Good
Okay?
luck.
Thank
Now,
you.
this has got to go to Boston to be approved. Okay? It's going to go to Department of Revenue. Okay, I hope you can explain to her what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You're looking at this as a new license, not a transfer. They might look at it as a transfer and say, you're taking over somebody else's, and there could be tax issues with it, so you should make sure that you follow through on it,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Commission will now open a hearing on the allegations of misconduct as charged by Kenneth E. LaValle, the Superintendent of Police, against the licensee known as TR Enterprises, Inc., doing business as El Rincon, Ray Serrano, manager of record, the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee at 135 Central Street.
Introduce yourself for the record, please.
Yeah, Ray Serrano, the Enterprises in Rincon.
Okay? Ray, have you read the complaint?
Yes, I have.
You want to read into line for line into the meeting, or, all right, Captain Webb, can you just brief overview of the complaint for the people listening?
Mr. Chairman, Sergeant Kerbach is present, who was the complaining officer, if you'd like to hear his testimony.
All right, please step up and introduce yourself. In your own words, just tell us basically
My name's David Kerbeck. I'm a sergeant for the Lowell Police Department. I was patrolling the area of Central Street on March 29th when I observed a person crossing Central Street. He was drinking from a Heineken beer bottle. I had stopped him after requesting him to stop a few times, and I spoke with him. He said he was coming from the El Rincon. I asked him why he was drinking a beer out in public. He stated he had just bought it. It's his right to drink it. So I continued to speak with him, telling him he should only be drinking the alcohol in the liquor establishment. He stated the employees from the liquor establishment had let him leave with the beer. After I had locked him up, arrested him for public drinking, I spoke with the manager, Mr. Serrano, and I just informed him of the allegations and just let him know to be a little more careful. Ray stated to me that under no circumstances would anyone leave with alcohol, as this person did, and he thought he must have hit it when he left the liquor establishment.
Okay. What was the disturbance or the striking of a police, or where did that come in? On the complaint, there's step three, removing alcoholic beverages from the licensed premises, patrons cause of outside disturbances, patrons striking Lowell police officers, agents, somebody give you a hard time, or?
There was another individual that was locked up for disorderly conduct. I believe Officer Rivera locked up another individual. I had assisted him with that arrest.
Did he come out of the bar, or?
Yes, that's correct. There was a large crowd that was leaving the bar at the time.
Okay.
So, just for clarification, the way I read this is that there was this incident, and then there were other incidents is when the establishment was closing, so it didn't happen the night of this incident, the striking of the police officer, the way I understand it.
I know there was an individual locked up for disorderly conduct. I'm not exactly sure what the accusation is with someone being struck.
The incident that you're here to speak about happened on March 29th, 2009, correct?
Yeah,
That's correct.
Right.
It's all listed on one to us.
Right, but there's also police reports from
Right.
February 8th, January 11th.
Right.
So I think the striking happened at a different time.
Right, but we're considering all of them on.
I don't think he would have any testimony as he didn't report that.
I wouldn't be aware of
No, that's okay.
a police officer being struck.
Okay. Okay. You have anything else to add to it?
No, I don't.
Okay. Ray, what's your side of the?
Well, as the sergeant said, he actually got the person leaving the property across the street, and so with the bottle beer, we usually pretty much every time somebody's leaving, we have 2 bouncers at the door, and we also have detail police officers at the door as people leave. So it was cold. People have a jacket. Pretty much, the only thing I can think is this person hide it, as they're walking out. I doubt that one of my employees will leave a person leaving without an alcohol beverage.
Okay. Have we had any other complaints against the bar?
Mr. Chairman, I also have a report from Officer Daniel Houston submitted on March 27th at 2 a.m. At that time on that date, Officer Houston was driving by the El Rincon, and he saw several patrons outside with alcoholic beverages in their hands. He was on his way to another emergency call and was not able to stop and deal with it at that time, but he did report the incident later. In addition, since the first of this year, in addition to the detail officers' assignments at that location, Lowell Police have been dispatched to the El Rincon 16 times in 3 months. 9 of those calls were at closing time for disturbances. 4 people have been arrested on various charges, including disorderly conduct and assault upon police officers, and 7 calls have been received from neighbors for loud music or unruly crowds outside of the business.
Okay. It kind of sounds, it kind of sounds to me like things are kind of progressing a little in the wrong direction. Maybe, and I don't, sometimes you can be just a little too successful. Okay? when you go and you're closing, you're closing at 2 o'clock, your last call should be 1:30, and you start moving people out the door. You can't get them all out the door at 2 o'clock and expect them to just to disperse and not have any problem. And I'm sure you understand that, Ray, but, it goes from, these three complaints, I guess, represent some problems that you've had. Are you usually there when they close at night?
I'm there every day. We're there. We actually, last call is 1:20.
Okay.
And 1:30 is we stop serving, and 20 off, we start taking people out as they go out.
Yeah.
Do you have a detail officer there?
All the time. I
time.
always do. I always make sure I have a detail unless they don't cover the detail. But I feel a lot
On the
better when
nights
they're
that
there.
they've had a problem with the crowd, has the detail officer been there?
I believe so. I believe that we have. All the times that we haven't have a detail, and I myself, sometimes I take it upon myself, and before we close, I call down and ask for help to, so monitor the people as they go out.
Yeah.
So I had called myself, because I really don't want anything to escalate anywhere in my property, and be here in front of you. So
Yeah.
I try to do my best.
I think you need to call the police ahead of time. Maybe you could meet with Captain Webb and just, sit some kind of a schedule down. This is the time we're going to stop putting people out the door. I know that the chief has started the cruises in downtown, and I think it's done a lot of good as far as trying to keep the disturbances down. But as well as I know, that what happens with a situation like this is, unfortunately, the policeman sees this, he's going to go over and try and be the good guy. He's going to go over and say, okay, come on, folks, let's go home, let's break it up, It's a sad state of affairs, but there's a lot of people in society today that look at that as a sign of weakness, rather than look at it, like the state trooper stopped me, and I'm going to be ticked off at him and give him a hard time. He might have just saved my life. I'll never know, but he might have just saved my life, But I'm thinking, this guy's a jerk, so I'm going to, the next time I get a little more carried away. And this is what happens with these types. Everybody's had a few drinks. The beer muscles will get up on some people, and you own a bar. I don't need to tell you that. And all you need is one clown to be out there. And if you look in the room, none of those people are here to help you. You're here by yourself, at the mercy of the board, of the commission. And you know what? They're going to be out at another bar tonight. So you always have to stay one step ahead. And it's mind-boggling to believe, but there's that certain element, if you will, of people that love to go to places where there's a conflict. Hey, let's get on here, we'll bust a few heads. Somebody ought to bust their heads, but because the police show enough restraint not to, they look at it and say, well, we'll go back tomorrow night. So, this is really not your first complaint, but it's your first really written complaint. And I believe myself that it takes a certain amount of problems, if you will, or a certain amount of warnings for the police to sit down and write a complaint. In other words, the police are not in the business of putting businesses out of business. They're in the business of selling public safety. Hopefully getting you and your patrons out of the building and at home at night, and also preserving the sanity of the neighborhood. So I think it gets to a point where all of a sudden they say, you know what, I think this has gone a little bit too far, it's time to stop. Now, I'm going to tell you a quick story, and this is nothing against the police or anything, but it's true as I, people say, oh, they're outside drinking. Well, I've heard that 4 or 5 times, and I can show you 2 or 3 places that People used to take a Coke and walk outside with a glass of Coke and a cigarette because they couldn't smoke inside. And, you know, right away, I mean, you're just guilty by appearance, you know? So this is one of the things you have to say to your bouncers. Look, you can't let people, I don't care they're not drinking Coke in front of my building. It's my license, and I'm responsible for it. And I don't even want the appearance of it happening. You know, one night on Market Street, the neighbors across the street called up, people were drinking in the street, and I decided to ride down there. They were drinking Coke. They had a bottle of Coca-Cola. I mean, I drove right by and saw it with my own 2 eyes. But to them, they saw this, and right away, you know, they thought, maybe rightfully so, that somebody was drinking, okay? So you have to take steps to get this and nip it in the bud, all right?
Yes.
Right.
I'll just make a motion to put it on file.
I'll second.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to suggest that the reports of the officers and the recommendation from the superintendent be also placed in the file for future evaluation if that need be.
Okay? Is that all right?
That's fine.
Okay.
That's good.
All right, Ray, we're going to put it on file. It's going to be there. You know what they say, 1, 2 strikes, you're in, okay?
All right, well, I do believe that my employees and we do everything we can to maintain order in the place. Do we hire details all the time?
Yeah.
So we do our best, and I think we do a pretty good job there.
No, I mean, I walk around downtown, I see that you guys have people on the door usually, you know, so just, you gotta be a little more vigilant.
I think reading these complaints, it looks like people might be having too much fun as it gets later in the night in there, so just keep an eye on over-serving individuals, and if you think someone's it's your, like Commissioner Baylor said, it's your license, so if you think someone may be getting a little tipsy, cut them off and just save yourself some headaches. All right?
You know, and a phone call doesn't cost anything, you know? I mean, I don't know why people are so, it's like drunk driving. You say, you know, how can you be that stupid in this day and age? Pick up the phone and call a cab for crying out loud. Go get your car tomorrow. You know, it's the fashionable thing to do. But oh no, people got to be stupid. Well, the same thing with a bar room. You got a gang of people out. Pick up the phone and call the police. Say, can you send someone down here? You know, usually the policeman come, he'll put the lights on the car. You know, a lot of times that's all it takes. And people, you know, they'll pay attention. Okay?
Hey,
Thank you.
just one suggestion. All right, you said that you think that some of this may be people sneaking beer bottles out in their pockets, especially in the cold weather when they've got those jackets. I know a lot of other bar owners have encountered this problem in the past, and what they did is they set a time where they switch over to plastic cups. Nobody puts an open cup in their pocket because, well, they're gonna have a wet pocket. So you may wanna think about, as you hit about midnight or so, getting rid of the bottles. May save you some cleanup and troubles too.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so we have a motion to place the report on file
Second.
and the
Police reports.
police report from Brian and seconded by Ray. And all in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay? Take care. Thank you very much, officer.
Thank you.
Commission will now take up the matter of holding a hearing on the licensee of record MC Auto LLC, Michael W. Caveney, manager, a used car dealer licensee for Class 2, license number 727-B, for premises at 173 Stedman Street. The property owner, Donald Duran, has notified the License Commission that Mr. Caveney, as tenant, has vacated the premises and has not paid rent. And it's, I believe, Mr. Duran's wish that at some point, if the commission were to remove the licensee from the premises, he would at some point apply for a new license.
Introduce yourself for the record, please.
Donald Durand, formerly of Grace Auto Sales.
Okay?
Michael Caveney, MC Auto manager.
Okay.
Sorry, you said formerly of?
Yeah, I previously held the license at that location for like 3 years prior to turning it over to MC Auto just this year, that he held the license for, I think, for about four or 5 months.
Are you the owner of the property at 173 Stedman Street?
Yes,
You are?
yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So he hasn't paid you his rent?
No, he's been out of the property for over 60 days. This is the first time I see him now. I've tried calling him, and he, kept telling me stories. Alls I know is I went there 30 days ago to collect the rent, and the property was vacated, swept clean, and
Are there any cars on the property?
no, absolutely, everything was totally removed.
Have you tied up the business?
No, I've not, sir.
All right, where are you storing your cars right now?
Right now, I'm storing them at my house, my parents' house.
Okay, so you're not operating a business at the property?
No.
All right, I'll make a motion to go ahead and revoke the license since it's
Excuse me.
not being
Whoa, whoa,
operated.
whoa,
May I
whoa,
speak,
whoa.
sir?
Where do you live, sir?
I live in Drake, Massachusetts.
Okay. All
I
right.
have a letter that I wrote to my landlord and a copy of a mold report. I was told...
Copy of what?
Of a mold report.
Oh, yeah, we don't know, we're not getting into that. That's a Board of Health issue. There's nothing, we don't get involved with mold, do we?
Mold?
He's mold.
Board of Health.
He's wrote the Board of Health.
I was told to vacate the
Mold.
property until...
What do you want to do with your license?
I want him to repair the facility so I have a clean working environment and return working there. That's what I'd like.
Can
I've been paying rent there for the past 6, 7 months.
You what?
I've been paying rent there for the past 6 or 7 months.
So you're saying your rent's current?
Yes, it is. Well, until I was told by the by the building department here to vacate the property until the problem was...
Do you have a letter that says that?
Our building department told you to vacate the property?
They
From
told me that
City
it was
Hall?
unoccupiable until
Can we
the-
see that letter?
I do not have a letter from them. I have a voicemail from them.
No. Hold on.
We're not talking about a residence, we're talking about a place of business.
Right.
The health department unfit for human habitation or something is not applicable.
Okay.
How long do the used car license run for? Is it the calendar year?
Yes.
Okay. And you're saying you want to keep the license,
Yes, I do.
and you're saying that you want it revoked because he's not paying rent.
He's been out of the building for 60 days.
I have not been out of the building for 60 days, sir.
But there's been no,
It says right in my mold report that I was there.
but there's no allegations of any misconduct against Mr.
Neither one of them,
Kamen.
actually.
No. So he has a license. I don't see why we would revoke it.
Yeah, but,
Well, let's see this mold report.
He's also, so I might add, he's also selling cars under his brother's address. His brother owns a business on Roger Street in Lowell. It's Cavity and something or other. And he's selling cars at a different location, but he's holding the license on Stedman Street. Like I said, he's been out of there for 60 days. There's no license posted on the building, and he hasn't paid rent. And like I said, after trying to notify him, I've been unsuccessful in notifying him. and he just-
is he a tenant at will, or does he have a lease?
He has a lease for a year, but he vacated the building.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with it. He has a lease.
He has a lease.
Okay, and so if he's paying you rent, it doesn't matter whether he's vacated it or not. He says that he's paid the rent. We don't settle rent issues here. That's not our forte. Our forte is a violation of his used car license. Your problem belongs in court, right?
Yeah, I mean, very
I
simply.
mean, I don't, there's no way, I mean, I don't, Mr. Solicitor, we don't get involved in rental issues. We do it is the taxes paid on your property? Are you current?
Yeah, but he, he's
Okay, no, that we do get involved because, statute says that you don't need you can't get a license if you owe if you owe taxes, but,
The statute also says that license is tied to a particular address. And if he's operating the business at an address other than, then that is grounds for revoking the license.
Well,
So I gotta know right now, if you are operating a business at other than that address, because if you are, you have to stop doing that right now. If you have a legal problem you want to go to court on, do your legal problem in court, in front of a judge. But if you're gonna use a license that's issued for a particular address, we don't issue what we call pocket licenses, people to pick a, I'm gonna get a license here and take it with me any place I want in the state.
Right.
That's not, your license is tied to operations. You're authorized to operate a used car business at a particular address. All right, that is how we've always issued our licenses. So,
And I know they are, like Commissioner Weicker just said, I know that there are cars being sold on Rogers Street with a sign that says Caveney, so
Yeah,
make sure that you're not doing that, stop that
I will
immediately.
stop doing that, but I was just parking them where I could. I was told to remove the
Okay.
vehicles
But
from
I
the
know it's
property.
right behind Milan Pizza.
who told you to remove the vehicles, sir?
The building commissioner did.
Well, I mean, first of all, I can't imagine, and I don't, but I can't imagine them, why would they have you remove the cars from the lot? Because there's mold in the building.
He was leaving me messages saying that he was going to tow the vehicles on me, and the building commissioner said that he doesn't know what agency this falls under, and I should remove my property.
Talking to the mic, sir, sorry.
He told me that he wasn't sure what agency this all fell under, and he said if your landlord is threatening to tow your vehicles out of there, then you should remove them yourself until this is resolved.
This seems like a landlord-tenant
Yeah,
squabble,
I
and not
can't see
something
it.
for the license commission.
I can't say it.
here's how I look at it. If it's a landlord-tenant squabble, it belongs in court.
Right.
All right? If you're gonna operate a business at an address that's not authorized by us, then I'm gonna be inclined to revoke the license. But that's how
Right. But we don't have any evidence of him, other than I've seen a car and he said that, but I don't know if he put the car there or not, other than he admitted it, but you gotta stop doing that.
I will.
You can only sell cars at this address right here.
Okay.
In the city of Lowell. Okay?
All right.
All right.
Outside of that, what would be the proper?
I mean, and I gotta tell you also, you're not in any way authorized to rely on legal advice from the building department regarding where to store your vehicles.
Okay.
All right? That's clear law.
Well, they didn't tell me where to store them, they just
Yeah,
suggested that
or mold or anything like that. I mean, first of all, I don't know who it was, and I don't want to know, and I don't want to, but whoever told you that they didn't know what department you go to, I mean, I find that absolutely,
I've been talking to all different agencies,
You know,
and nobody seems
And
to.
you haven't been talking to us until today.
so you need to go like to the Board of Health or whatever, and find out whatever that rule is. And then the dispute you guys have belongs in
Another forum.
yeah, then, other than this, we're not a court of,
Yeah.
I didn't
okay?
request this meeting.
So, I mean, as far as, what would be the proper motion here? Just to dismiss go.
Commissioner Weicker proposed, but if he wants to withdraw it, that's the end of it.
All right, I will withdraw my recommendation, all right? But
Yeah.
I want to replace that with a motion to have this brought back in front of us in 30 days and find out what the status is as far as legal proceedings. Look, if you're going to take legal action, take it. If you're not, turn in the license and go your own way. But whatever the case is, we're not going to leave a pocket license floating around out there, for the remainder of the year, because it's opening ourselves up to all kinds of problems and setting all kinds of precedents that we're not, at least I'm not prepared to go ahead and endorse.
30 days.
I mean, if we put this on for, 2 meetings out to find out what the situation is, if you guys are in court, you're in court. If you're not in court, you're not in court. But I think you're adults. Figure it out. I'll make a
Okay.
motion to have it back on in, 2 meetings or?
We have a meeting June 11th, that's the first meeting in June. That's approximately 30 days from now, a little less than 30 days. Or you can do it for the end of the June, which would be June 25th.
June 25th.
25th. Do the
All right,
25th.
25th.
Okay, motion to do it on the 25th.
Seconded.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
I just have one other thing. where he's in violation of holding this license. He's selling cars at a different location and not here. It
You
isn't-
know, sir, do you know for a fact, have you found somebody that he sold a car to out of it? This is his brother that owns that other lot? You said, that's what you said, right?
Yeah, and
Okay. You know what? I mean, it might not be all perfect with it, but maybe hopefully your brother would help you out if you were in business. And I'd rather give the man the benefit of the doubt. We're gonna give them this amount of time to try to work this thing out, okay? It's that simple. You know, I don't know where he got his advice from. I don't wanna know where he got his advice from. But, you know, if you're worried about your rent, you go to court and, what court do you take it to? Civil court?
District court.
District court. You go to district court and, you know, you get him in there and, you know, that's all legal documents that we have nothing to do. It's your lease agreement,
No,
okay?
I'm aware of that.
So, I mean, I think all three of us agree that, you know, another 30 days is not gonna kill you. Maybe the two of you can get together and iron this thing out rather than worry more about, you know, hiring lawyers and fighting each other. I don't know. But we'll see you in 30 days. Thank you very much.
What am I gonna need in 30 days to convince the board that?
In 30 days, he's got to come back and prove that you're either into litigation and that he's going through with, or you're fighting out whatever you want to fight out. You're throwing mold at each other. I don't give a damn what you're doing, but
But if he's not moved back
if
into
he
the
hasn't done
location
anything
or-
by then, we'll probably end up taking his license.
We need to know what's going on in 30 days. I'm not going to
As
put all the
Ray
burden
said.
on him, I'm not going
No.
to put all the burden on you. But I am telling you that you guys are here a little bit prematurely. You're telling me you guys are having a dispute regarding rent. If you find that there's a violation, if you can prove that somebody has bought a car at an address other than the one listed on the license, go ahead, call the police.
That's from this date
You know,
forward, though.
I mean, you know,
Not back.
the state police have an auto crime task force that goes after used car dealers every day for selling at other addresses. They love to do it. There are two people who do nothing but that. So you've got your options, but if you guys are just having a tenant dispute, that belongs in front of a judge.
Next on the agenda. What's this?
Commission will now take up the matter of an application by Don M. Landry of Londonderry, New Hampshire, for a license to buy, sell old gold, silver, platinum for premises at 62 Lakeview Avenue. Previous licensee for 2008-2009 for the same premises had been Linda Lee Perez, doing business as Gold Rush. Mr. Chairman, Ms. Perez is here in this room with, I believe, with Ms. Landry, and this is the time of year when a licensee for old gold, silver, and platinum would be renewing. The renewal period, the new license takes effect May 1st. Existing licenses have expired as of April the 30th. So if Ms. Perez has no interest in renewing her license, obviously the commission has now before you a new license applicant.
Okay, introduce yourself, please.
Hi, my name is Dawn M. Landry.
You're Dawn, okay?
Linda Lee Perez.
Okay, now, Ms. Perez, you're not going to renew your license?
No,
You're not, okay?
signed
And
the-
basically, what, are you selling the business to her?
I'm just giving her the business. She's my daughter, so yeah. I'm just
Oh.
taking it over. She's just taking it over. I don't want any part in it or anything.
Okay, all right. Captain Webb, have we ever had any, you going to keep the same name?
I'm gonna switch it to Black Diamond.
I'm sorry?
I'm gonna switch the name to Black Diamond.
Black Diamond.
Black Diamond, okay. Have we had any problems with these?
Mr. Chairman, the police department has some serious concerns about the way the business was conducted by Ms. Perez and her father at that location. We were going to bring some matters before this board. There's still an investigation ongoing I guess we were under the impression that she wasn't renewing the license. We didn't realize that it was, an attempt was going to be made to transfer it to a family member. So I have no concrete evidence to present to you today, but we do have concerns about how the business is being conducted at that location.
How much time would you need to bring us at what you've got? Would another meeting be if we put it out?
We could bring some information back at another meeting, but again, I'm not sure how the investigation would turn out, so I can't promise you that I would have something for you, so.
Okay, it says here that you've been there for a year and a half, a year and 3 months.
She
No?
just got the license in October of '08.
Oh, that's where you've lived, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry, excuse me. Thank you.
I remember when you came in, Ms. Perez, it was your father, right, who had been in the
Yes, it was
business?
them two,
And
yeah.
you were gonna get into the same business as your father?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And how did business go?
It was all right. I really didn't have that many problems. I mean, I ran into a few things with...
Pull the mic down, talk into the
She ran
mic.
into a few problems with the paperwork, but Tracy, the officer, had let us know how to do the paperwork right. So then she was doing the paperwork right after that she ended up getting a violation on not doing the paperwork right. I have no part, I have a regular job, so, I mean, I want no part. I'm not taking any part in this business. This is all her. It has nothing to do with me. I just came to say that I didn't want the license.
Dawn, have you ever been in this business before?
No, I have not, but I did have my own business before.
But have you dealt in secondhand articles and old gold and silver and
No, I
platinum?
had my own cleaning business before.
Do you know any of the rules and regulations regarding this
Yes.
business? And how did you learn about the rules and regulations?
Well, now I know how to do the paperwork properly with the index card and a logbook, and getting the ID and everything, and
But how did you learn that?
just from being there with her afterwards.
Were you employed by this business?
No, I was not.
So how long have you been at the business?
I've been around it for like 3 years, probably like 3 years, because my ex-husband, because he's my ex-husband, so. And I had talked to Tracy, and she said that as long as I did everything right, it would be okay.
Have you been issued any formal warnings or anything from the police department?
No, I haven't.
No,
She went to court.
I went to court and stuff, but I didn't get in trouble for anything. It was thrown out. There wasn't enough evidence against me to charge me with anything. And I actually talked to a lawyer and stuff, and Tracy, and they said that has nothing to do with her getting her license. And
Well, yeah, it does and it does. I mean, this is the same family. You know, your family.
Oh, but I don't live in the house. I don't even.
Yeah, she lives in Lowell.
Yeah, I live in
Londonderry.
Lowell. We live in two different.
Yeah.
And my ex-husband lives down in Lowell, so.
Yeah.
And I would bring the slips by every time I came back down the next morning. I would have the slips bring into the police department. That was another thing that they weren't doing every day, was bringing the slips in every day to the police department.
Do we do a query on their background?
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
that's not a requirement.
We can't require it?
Mr. Chairman, that's not a requirement.
Okay.
I guess I want to see what was going on with the investigation or what was going on with the allegations or violations. I mean, if it made it to court at least and was, I don't know, did it make it to a clerk's hearing? Did it make it to an arraignment? You know.
They just went to the magistrate.
Yeah, it wasn't really court. We went to the magistrate, and that was it.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
If they're going to do business under another name, they're going to have to register with the city clerk.
Right.
As well. That's another issue.
I already have.
You already have?
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, just for the sake of in deference to the Captain Webb of the Lowell Police Department, I think he's much as said that there's an issue with the licensed establishment as of last month when the license had expired. Obviously, the police, I think, have been doing due diligence and trying to prepare the case, if that be the case, and if I may use that word again, it's possible that the board might want to consider taking it under advisement.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'll definitely say I'd like to take it under advisement. I'd like to know what's going on more.
Okay.
But I'm not
How
prepared
about
to
you?
go
How do you
forward.
feel about that?
I think we should just set it up for another meeting, and wait until we get the evidence from the police department before we make a ruling.
Okay.
Yeah.
But even though that has to do with her, not with me.
I'm sorry?
It's the business location that we're
Yeah.
concerned about, and it's
No,
a
we-
transfer within the family. It's not a arm's length transaction, so I'd like to.
Exactly, and, you know, and I'm not saying this reflects just on you or anything like that, but this is a very dangerous business. This business is very dangerous business, okay? I mean, people today, unfortunately, the economy's down and there are house breaks and people trying to get rid of stuff, and I've had, I don't know if my fellow commissioners have had, but I've had any number of people, bring this up to me about these places around the city buying old gold and silver, and I'm not saying you did anything wrong, because I find it fascinating on television that you can send away and put all your gold in a bag and they send you a check. Wow, duh, what a great idea. And people do it, but we need to know, that steps are being taken to make sure that it's being done properly.
Dawn, can I just ask you one question?
Mm-hmm.
Who would be advising you in this business?
Who would be advising me?
Yeah.
I'll be learning it myself. I already know how to scratch it and sell it and buy it, and I'm not gonna buy off some junkie or crackpot. If you look at my credit report, it's A1. My credit, I'm a good character. I never been arrested. I never have nothing on my criminal record.
Not questioning that. I remember when we gave out this license the first time, our concern was that Ms. Perez had no experience, but her father had a lot of experience, and
Right.
he would be helping her out. In this case, there doesn't seem to be anybody helping out Miss Landry. So I guess,
Yeah, but it's not.
like,
No,
it's,
she's doing all on her own. Like I said, me and my
That's
father
the
have no
concern.
part
Yeah.
in this business whatsoever. It's all her. Everything's in her.
No. We have a motion to take it under advisement. Do we want to set a date for, another hearing, or do we want to wait till we hear from Captain Webb?
Well, I think theoretically, you could just move to the next, as we have the used car dealer matter for the next meeting, the second meeting of June the 25th, see if Captain Webb has any any information that he can present to the board, whether it be a favorable presentation, or it may negate Ms. Landry's direct involvement with the business if it's in any way involving a family member.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and continue it to the 25th of
second the motion.
June.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
We'll see you on June
Okay.
25th.
Okay.
Mary Carnell. Oh, Mary.
Commission will now entertain the appearance of Attorney Mary C. Connell, representing a gentleman by the name of Thu Quoc Vu of the AMA Asian Fusion Restaurant, which is seeking a common vittler's license for premises of Mango Tango, Inc., doing business as the Mango Tango Hot Pot and Grill, San L. Thatch, manager, the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee at 602-608 Merrimack Street. This also goes in sync with the Attorney Cornell had filed a communication with the License Commission office 2 days ago to appear before the board on behalf of the application for a transfer of the restaurant liquor license from Mango Tango to Mr. Vu's LLC, known as AMA Restaurant LLC. Mr. Chairman, just for a quick summary and an anticipation of what Attorney Cornell will have to say before the board, Mango Tango, Inc. is the licensee of record. It is the understanding of, my understanding, and I share this with the board publicly, is that the owner of Mango Tango, Inc. has vacated the premises, has vacated the present premises in my estimation, effective December 31st, 2008. It is now the intent of the landlord to try to secure a new tenant for the premises. And before you is an application for transfer of license, and also the attempt by the new tenant to operate a restaurant pending the approval of a transfer of the alcohol license.
Good afternoon, Mr. Commissioner and Chairman, or Commissioners. Just as a matter of clarification on a couple of matters, I represent the owner of the property at Merrimack Street. Mr. Vu has his own counsel who prepared and filed the application for transfer. He could not be here today. And as Mr. Nguyen said, I had just requested this hearing 2 days ago, so it was short notice. We only became aware of what could potentially be a problem on Monday. Mr. Vu went on Friday to get all his applications and inspections and approvals to get his common vitla license. And then he went on Monday to the License Commission to get the common vit, and that's when this problem came up. From what I understand, after speaking with Mr. Nguyen, you can get a liquor license, you can get a common vitla license without a liquor license. It's not the other way around. And there is a current and valid license for the property there. The former owner thought she had a buyer for the property at the end of last year, and that fell through. So now we have a new buyer, and we filed the application to transfer as opposed to a new liquor license. And I represent the former owner to the extent of the outstanding tax liabilities. She asked me if I would work with the landlord to clear this up. And so in that connection, we have the application pending for the liquor license. I think it's maybe in the next meeting is when that will be heard. But for right now, for the time being, Mr. Vu would like to operate it as a restaurant with no liquor served on the property. And as I think I said in my letter, no one was aware that there was a current common vitla license outstanding, so we're asking the commission to cancel that one and issue him a new one, with the understanding, obviously, that there won't be any alcohol until this board rules on it, and then if that's positive, it goes to the ABC, and the ABCC approves it. But we anticipate it's going to be a while because the former owner, was having financial difficulties, and we already have, done some of the background work as far as what outstanding taxes are going to be, but that's going to take a bit.
You said that you represent Ms. Thatch in regards to the taxes.
Just for the tax liability.
Can you also represent to us that she doesn't want the common vit license?
Right.
Okay, she would like it canceled.
Yes.
Make a motion to cancel the license.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Do I need to ask the board to issue a new one?
If I may recommend to the License Commission, the document that is known as the All Alcoholic Beverage Restaurant License had been issued on or about December 29, 2008 to Mango Tango Inc., to someone who is presumably representing the licensee of record. That license has not been turned into the License Commission, and under the circumstances where the Commission has now canceled out Mango Tango's common vitla's license, it is incumbent upon the licensee, who's no longer the licensee, to surrender that license to the board forthwith. There's no reason for that document to be in anyone's possession but the Office of the License Commission.
Just a couple matters is that Mr. Tu has filed an application for a transfer, not for a new license. And I've discussed this with Mr. Nguyen. I can either hold on to the original liquor license if the board is concerned that, if he had the common vit, he'd be buying or selling alcohol, or we would have no problem with turning the physical possession over to the commission, as long as with the understanding that we'd request that it not be canceled, since then all the paperwork would have to be done over, and it's just a matter of a transfer.
Ryan, if they turn the license into us, can we transfer it?
Absolutely. In fact, it would be, I can just, from experience, explain that the Alcoholic Beverages Control Commission would first and foremost treat this matter of what we've been talking about, or what has been described as a transfer of license. It is not the intent of the board, I would think, to cancel the liquor license, but it is for the sake of public safety and that Mr. Vu be not at all in any way, shape, or form tempted to say, oh, I can serve a drink here or I can serve a drink there. We now know, and the Lowell Police can be assured at this meeting, that there is no alcohol license for the premises, even though, in theory, the License Commission will be holding a public hearing on a transfer of license in actuality at our next meeting.
Can we make a motion that the license, or I'll make a motion that the license that's held by Mango Tango Inc. be turned into the License Commission office by the close of business on Monday, May 18th?
I can give it to you.
And held for...
Just as long as it's with the understanding that it's not canceled, that it's just the physical possession.
It's not being canceled, it's just being turned over for custody.
We're not going to
Okay.
keep... But question there, okay? Question there, question... the former owner having, obviously, financial problems and tax problems, okay? And we just talked about that before. They would, and I don't know, it's just in the form of a question, they wouldn't be better to go for a new liquor license? No, okay.
It's almost 6 1/2 dozen
Okay.
another. Could I ask the Commission, I know you canceled the common vic, and we're going to turn over the liquor license. Could I request that a new common vic license be issued?
Sure.
Was that?
The application's
Yeah.
filed, yeah.
Motion there, you grant him a new common victor's license, that's no
Second.
problem.
Great,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay?
Okay.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay?
Good luck.
Welcome.
Okay, and so just as a summary of matters to do with the agenda, there'll be 2 legal notices published in the local newspaper tomorrow, Lowell Sun. One pertains to an application for an original license, a new license, New Bliss Inc., DBA Garcia Brogan, Ronald Brogan, President, for license for all alcoholic beverages restaurant, and a license for common vitler and entertainment for live music, disc jockey, and jukebox. The premises being at 131 Middlesex Street, unit number 5, and that is the site of the new car garage on Middlesex Street, the early garage. The City of Lowell has entered into a lease agreement with New Bliss to occupy unit number 5. Also, as we've just spoke of, the matter to do with the transfer of the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant license from Mango Tango Inc. to the corporation of Mr. Vu, MAA Restaurant LLC, and he's applied under the LLC name, a license for common vitler for premises at 602, 608 Merrimack Street. There will be a legal notice published in the paper tomorrow for that matter as well.
Anything else? Anything?
Nothing else, Mr. Chairman.
Well, I may not be here at the next meeting, but I had a couple of concerns on the corporate, or the LLC papers, whether or not the applicant alleges to be the resident agent to receive notice, whether or not he is a resident. He gives the address of the premises, and he gives a New Hampshire phone number, and then someplace else he gives a Lowell address, so I don't know whether Mr. Vu, 2Q Vu.
Okay.
And the other thing has to do with the pledge agreement that they have, whether or not they're considering pledging or attempting to pledge the license.
I thought I'd check it.
But that will obviously come before you at the next...
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to check on the phone number because...
Could be a cell phone.
If it's a cell phone, I mean, my cell phone number still has a North Carolina prefix. It's just, a decade old. So just never changed it. So I don't know if this guy's 603 is a cell or a home.
Okay. No, we've been pretty consistent about, we've been checking the licenses so that they can't do that. You know how we got caught up in that before, and, hopefully that won't happen again.
I just point that out for you.
He gives his residence as 79 Rivers Edge Road in Lowell, so. And he says he's been residing there since August of 2007 on the application.
That's,
I mean,
it seems to
that's
work.
what it is.
Well, certainly the opportunity at the public hearing on the transfer, any of these questions can be addressed, and assuming he has his attorney present, there will be.
Okay. Anything else? Anything, Gray?
I have nothing else.
Okay, on a personal note, I just want to thank everybody for, seeing me through my recent illness. And it's good to be back, and trust you took good care of the city while I was away. Look at them. Benjamin, we're coming home.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say yes.
Yes.